I was thinking that I need to make a video to provide context for this sci-fi comic book that I'm working on. So, here's some video context. So it starts out with him being all depressed because some terrorists use a gun he invented to kill people. But she is just chilling, and then she hears that her master, because remember, in this depressing sci-fi universe, everyone on Earth owns at least one slave, even the protagonist. The thing that sets him apart from everyone else is he treats her nice. Anyway, like I was saying, so he's just all sad and depressed and miserable. And he's vaping too, He only does that when he's depressed, whereas she just does it all the time because she's addicted to cloudy sugar waters. I don't know. Never mind. Anyways, so like I was saying, he's just like explaining what happened to her, and she's like, "Oh, come on, it's not your fault. It's their fault. You just made something cool. If you hadn't invented it, they just would have killed people anyway." And so then he's just like, "You're right. It's their fault. We need justice." And so he does his thing, which he's allowed to get away with because he's rich, which is he goes and he kills the terrorists who killed the people before. Um, and she's just like, but that's just his way. He needs justice. Because this is, I was thinking of maybe having like her be narrating the story because she's telling it to an interviewer or something. Anyway, and so here he is again. Here's where the story actually begins. And so he's building a robot, and the robot comes online and stuff, and the robot's just like, what is the meaning of my existence? He's like, you're a robot that exists to please people and just make them happy, and I will be selling you soon. But first, we have to go to Mars for some important thing. I have no idea what though. Um, and so he's just like, oh, whatever. Because he's a robot, he does not care even about his own existence very much. Uh, and so then they see her, and he's just like in awe because he's like, oh wow, that's a really cool outfit. He didn't know that she had it, so he's just like, wait a minute, if I didn't buy that for her, where'd she get it? He's confused. Uh, but then they leave for Mars, and then we cut to like elsewhere. This assassin who shows up later, and this doctor who shows up later, and we're just like little short action scenes. He figured out, okay, this character's an assassin, and this character's a doctor. Um, anyhow, like I was saying, so they're going to Mars, and Mars is all nice and terraformed because hey, it's the future. Uh, and so yeah, this character remains poorly drawn until the part where the aliens abduct both of them. Anyway, like I was saying, um, they just go and crap. What was I saying before? Oh yeah. So like I was saying, they just go and they go to Mars, but then their ship crashes because of like hackers and things. But then luckily in the field where they crash, there was a farmer guy just working out there. And so then the robot pilot's just like, hey man, can you help us? And they're just like, whatever. And it's like, okay, guys, there's a doctor in town. And so then they go to the town. This is one of the best like drawn pictures in this like half that I have done so far. And so they go to the doctor, and the doctor's just like, oh yeah, I can help you. Um, and then here we cut back to the assassin, and the assassin is talking to her boss, and her boss is just like, "Oh wow, that is terrible. I can't believe you crashed. Yeah, I'll have to talk to you later." Anyway, and so then she's just minding her own business in some back alley somewhere, and he's just like, "How you do?" And she's just like, "Yes, what?" And this guy here is just like, "So I ain't seen you. Where you from?" And she's like, or I'm from Luna. And he's just like, oh wow, Luna, what's that like? And she just explains how Luna is just like a terrible place where everyone is just the very very rich and the very very impoverished, sort of like Russia, bit like Soviet Russia. Um, and so then she just explains how poor people die in the streets while the wealthy are on all kinds of crazy meds trying to achieve immortality, and he's just like, why would anyone want to live forever? because he's a simple farmer, he gets it. Life is suffering, and plus he's religious. He wants to go to heaven. Um, because everyone on Mars is religious, but then Earth is sort of living in a massive and highly extended age of, I think it's called ecstasy or something. It's like decadence, while Earth has sunk into the age of decadence. That's the thing that happens before essentially, whatever. Anyway, so then she's just all confused, but it's like elsewhere, and we cut to the aliens. And the aliens are like, that planet, we will go to that planet, and they send their massive ships over to Mars, and the ships come down with even smaller ships, and the Mars people go to fight the aliens, and some people get fried and others get abducted, and there's just lasers everywhere. And here's like a really big Martian ship, and here's like a really big alien ship. And the people on Earth are like, "Oh no, the Martians have been invaded by aliens. Oh no, no, no!" And so they shoot the giant moon laser to